by one. Franz Wagner drills the three-pointer. That would put the Magic up by 4 and back in the lead under a minute left. Magic up by 5 here. Paolo Banchero from deep gets the shooter's bounce in the Magic. Go up 8. Looking a little too close for comfort, though, in Orlando, but somehow they find a way. 113-105 was your final score from the Kia Center in Orlando as the Magic get it done, hold off the Pistons, and now take the 2-1 series lead. Game 4 Monday from Orlando at 8 p.m. Let's get into our post-game coverage as we now welcome in our own John Gonzalez for more. John, great to see you. This one, as I mentioned, a little too close for comfort for Orlando in the final minutes. We saw Cade Cunningham tie it all up with that clutch 3, but the Magic found a way to pull away in this one. How would you describe the way they were able to do it?
Dicey. They were up 15 with 7.5 minutes left, and then, the Pistons tied it, and then they pulled away. But they got some big shots from Franz Wagner. Paolo Banchero had a pretty good game, although he wasn't very efficient shooting the ball. I think Wendell Carter should be called out here because he had a monster double-double, and he really has been outplaying Jalen Duren in this series. Jalen Duren almost won for his own double-double and had 5 blocks, but he fouled out. And really, Wendell Carter gave him all he could handle. And then one more guy that we should single out here is Desmond Bane, who had a pretty bad shooting night in Game 2. Responded big time in Game 3 in Orlando, back at home, goes for 25 points, hits 7 3-pointers tonight. The Orlando Magic, Jordan, for a long time, I don't think they made a three-pointer for like 10 years. And then tonight they shoot 45% from deep. So that was a little surprising, but I guess eventually it has to go in, and tonight it did.
And definitely did. And it was surprising and is surprising that they have taken the series lead at 2-1. So they stole, obviously, Game 1. Nobody expected that. We were all shocked after that game, and here they are. What has gotten into this Magic team, and how have they been able to prove all of the doubters wrong?
Yeah, I mean, this is sort of the Magic team that was promised all season long. I and a lot of people thought that the Magic were going to take a leap this season because they do, on paper, have a very compelling team, and they play great defense. But it took them pretty much all season until the play-in game where they beat the Charlotte Hornets, and then they win Game 1 in Detroit where it looked like, oh, this is the Magic team that we were waiting for all season long. They're actually trying now. They're making shots. I'm still not entirely sold on the pairing between Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner, but so far in this series, they've looked pretty good. Now, again, they haven't been super efficient, and they've needed a lot of offense from Desmond Bane, but a guy like Jalen Suggs, who was injured earlier this season, he's playing really well. They're getting good contributions off the bench from Anthony Black, and I think defensively, they've done a really good job on Cade Cunningham, especially in Game 3. Yes, Cade went for 27 points, but man, did they make him work. Just 8 of 22 from the floor, and they turned him over 8 times. So the Magic, when they're playing through their defense, when that's their primary pursuit, they're a really tough team, and they were tonight.
Let's get to the Pistons here. Just another heartbreaker for Cade Cunningham in particular, doing the absolute most. How do they steal one back on Monday?
Yeah, Cade needs to be more efficient. He needs to take care of the ball. Again, 8 turnovers. That can't happen. That really hurt them tonight. I didn't think Cade was all of the problem. There's plenty of blame to go around here. I mean, Jalen Duren, I called him out earlier. We'll do it again here. He has not had a good series. He had a great season. He might end up as a third-team All-NBA. He was a finalist for Most Improved Player of the Year. He didn't win it, but still, he's had a really good year. And he's a guy who bet on himself this past offseason when he was looking for $30 million a year from the Pistons. The Pistons balked at that. And then after the season he's had, he's thinking, well, I'm going to get paid big time. Okay, you're probably still going to get paid big time, but if you want to be a big-time money guy, you got to play like that in the playoffs when you're the 1 seed, and now you're down to the 8 seed 2-1. Doesn't mean you're going to lose the series, but they need a lot more out of Jalen Duren for sure. I think Asar Thompson's been fine. Duncan Robinson, they need some more shooting there. This is sort of what you're seeing from the Pistons and the Magic in this series. They're two very, very similar teams. And in Game 3, the Magic got their shots to fall, and the Pistons didn't. Neither of them shoot the ball very well, but that was really the difference.
Well, they will get another chance come Monday. Stay put, John. Much more from you on the other side here on HQ as the Orlando Magic continue to surprise us all, taking the 2-1 series lead in this one against the Detroit Pistons. As I mentioned, that Game 4 Monday from Orlando, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. More from us Here on HQ, we're going to show you full highlights from this one from Orlando on the other side here on HQ, and much more NBA playoff talk. Stay with us.
Close to 20 field goal attempts, so he's going to shoot a lot. What I also like about this, he has drastic home versus road splits. He averaged nearly 23 points per game in Phoenix this season compared to under 16 points per game on the road. So I think it's a combination of things. Having a green light in the offense, heading back home to Phoenix, and then the Suns just not having enough reliable scoring, especially off the bench. I think Dillon Brooks is going to have to continue to shoot a ton to keep them in the games.
Yeah, you talk about the depth, but also the fact that Devin Booker hasn't really shown up. And I know it's been a regular season thing, but certainly in the postseason, you talk volume. We're seeing double, triple the shots for Dillon Brooks, and they're falling. So, yeah, I tend to lean to the over with you there. Let's talk about panic in New York, as I like to call it, with the Knicks and the Hawks. Game 4 in Atlanta, Hawks up 2-1. You're not looking at a side, which I don't blame you. It's hard to check the temperature on these teams right now. You're going to go, though, with the season's most improved player in Atlanta's Nickeil Alexander-Walker. How are you playing him?
Yeah, Claudia, I'm a sucker for a discount, and we're getting a significant one on his scoring prop. Just going over 17.5 points for Alexander Walker, who, as you mentioned, most improved player, had a fantastic regular season. However, he struggled in the postseason. He's shooting a ton, but they're not. The shots are not dropping for him, but they're good looks, and he has a green light. I don't think his confidence is wavered. I just think it's a matter of getting a couple baskets early. He's playing extremely heavy minutes. He's taking a ton of threes. He's still very engaged defensively here. So I think he's going to get back on track. It's all the more impressive, too, that the Hawks find themselves up 2-1 without him having a single good shooting night in the series. So I think he's more likely than not to get back on track. He averaged over 20 points per game in the regular season. I think he goes over this line of 17.5 today.
Yeah, like you said, even with him not going off, the Hawks are surprising people by still winning games. So panic for the Knicks, maybe slight panic for the Nuggets, who take on the T-Wolves Game 4 in Minnesota. Minnesota leading 2-1. And panic, I say, because the Nuggets offense, which was the best in the regular season, is being quieted by Minnesota's defense. Credit to that defense. Speaking of defense, Rudy Gobert is usually the guy that comes to mind. You're fading his offensive game here, though.
Indeed, Claudia. Yeah, and he's been fantastic, but I'm going to go under 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists for Rudy Gobert, who's played huge minutes in this game, or in this series. He's also done a fantastic job slowing down Nikola Jokic. I believe Gobert is just as pivotal to any single player why this Timberwolves teams find themselves up 2-1 heading into Game 4. However, this is a lot of offensive output for Rudy Gobert, who's been playing more minutes than he's played all season long. You have to wonder if that's going to catch up to him here, but he's not scoring a ton. He's just really focusing in on defending Nikola Jokic. But when you deal with Nikola Jokic, foul trouble is a big factor, and I think he's very unlikely to play his full allotment of minutes because he's very likely to get into foul trouble, something that's plagued him in this series and throughout the regular season head-to-head matchups with Denver. So I just think there's a lot of ways that Gobert stays under this line. Even if he gets his full minutes, it's not a given that he goes over 24 points, rebounds, and assists.
The best player in the league, and Nikola Jokic is enough. So maybe you don't need the points to go with it. Alex Selznick, appreciate you. Have a great rest of your weekend. Here's another look at what Alex likes. Thunder at Suns, Brooks over on points, Nickeil Alexander-Walker with the points, and Rudy Gobert. We're going to go under because all he needs to do is defend.